All right. Well, this is it. This is a 2010 Nissan Murano that my sister has hastily purchased because her transmission went out on her Nissan Versa, and I was in the middle of looking up repairs for it, and it's been a rough week actually because on top of all that, was working another job and didn't have time to fix it, and then I ended up quitting because they were trying to fire me anyway. But besides the point, I'm a full-time mechanic now, I guess, and no time is better than now because my sister's cars, plural, need repaired. All right, so the Versa's at the parents' house, parked for the transmission job. I already know how to rebuild the CVT. We just need $600 for the rebuild, and I'll do it for free. Shop wanted to just put a new one in for her. That's crazy. We ain't got that kind of money. That's like $2-3 grand in work, and they just don't want to do the little bit of work that the transmission needs to be repaired. So I'm gonna do it for her. And well, anyway, she still needs to get to work, so she dumped her savings into this thing. This 2010 Murano with 70,000 miles, debatable because the VIN search is sketch, but anyway. Well, here's what it looks like. Let's show you what I saw when I crawled under this thing. Oh, this is why you don't buy a car alone. What is that? Is that some shitty JB Well looking epoxy sealing this oil pan? Yeah, it is. Look how crusty. She's ready to go. $6,000, folks. $6,000. This is why. This is why we don't trust people. You can't trust anyone that's selling you something, and it's disgusting because I could probably poke through this oil pan with my finger. Like, if I punched this hard enough, I bet I would get rained on right now. A new oil pan, folks, is like $50. I don't understand why a dealership can't just take 5 minutes and put a new oil pan on this. So, you know what they did? They overfilled the block because they didn't want this to leak oil out before she finished her test drive and got it home. Because it's not their problem once it's off the lot. And that's fucking disgusting. All right, we're back. So it didn't have as much oil in it as I thought, but I think the problem is the dipstick on this motor I don't know what they did in the design from the oil fill to the top of the dipstick tube, but there's like an opening or something because I only poured in like this quart here, or what is it? Yeah, one quart here. And the dipstick is bone dry on the bottom, but I'm getting fluid up the whole way. The whole way in the middle of the dipstick is getting covered in fluid when there's only about maybe 2 quarts, maybe 3 quarts in the system. It's a 5-quart system. And all I did was, like I said, add 1 quart first, and it was all over the middle of the stick, nothing on the bottom. Explain that to me. How is oil from the top of the motor getting on the side of the dipstick before it's getting on the bottom of it? Like, it's like they want you to not know your oil level on this engine for some reason. And I like Nissan, but this is a mark on their end for me. I got the new pan on, and I got a new filter. I think the oil filter they had on there was wrong for this vehicle. Because I think it was leaking out of there right under the oil filter where it screws in. There was a good drip of oil, but nothing looked visually like it was leaking anywhere else. So I'm guessing they just over torqued it because I actually had to hammer a screwdriver through it and twist it about 3 times before I was able to unscrew it with my hand. So I think that was the only leaks was coming from that oil pan gasket. Oh, wait, I didn't even tell you. The oil pan was glued on. See all that white crap? Yeah, these fucking dealerships. This is why you don't go to these places. These buy here, pay here, used car dealerships. Look at that. They fucking glued the oil pan on. You know how much that gasket cost me? $20. You know how long it took me to put it on? 20 minutes. Right. So my sister's car, as you just saw, had some issues. I ended up finding the oil cooler was leaking right on the block there. Ended up having to like just clean up the surface a little bit and put a new O-ring gasket. Wasn't a big deal. New oil in it because it all leaked out, and then I burped the coolant, made sure that was all good. So that car is pretty good now. Send it. Anyway, that car's pretty good now. She's been driving it a little bit. No problems there. This thing's been giving me trouble. I had to pass E-check, and pretty much all the sensors that can go bad went bad on it. Both the O2s were fused to the thing. I had to cut them out. I had to replace the downpipe because I couldn't get that one out, actually. And a bunch of other things, replaced the mass airflow, fuel pump sending unit, and apparently still had a lien code on it for some reason. But I was able to get a waiver for the e-check in Ohio. If you spend more than like $300 or $400 in parts and you have the receipts, they will waive you for 2 years. So hopefully by 2027 they've abolished e-check like they should, and I won't have to worry about that shit. But right now, still trying to figure out the lien code on it. Wondering, I'm kind of narrowing it down to throttle body or fuel injectors. Because apparently if you clean the throttle body on these, it messes up the ECU, and you can apparently break the idle air control built into the throttle body. And the only way to fix it is to replace the whole throttle body, which is probably like anywhere from a $50 to a $200 part. And I've spent too much on it so far because I just quit my job for multiple reasons, but mainly because I think I can do better off being self-employed fixing people's crap, because I've fixed my own crap so much. It makes sense, right? You know, I get tired of seeing these shops overcharge for people to do simple jobs like what I do on my own cars. I do this stuff to save myself money, so like I'm trying to save other people a little money. Like, no, I can't do it for free, obviously, but I see what these people charge, and I can still make a living off of just helping people and not ripping them off. So, you know, I've learned so much working on this thing. I'm learning stuff back here, tearing this heap apart. We've been stripping it down for Facebook Marketplace. Turns out the frame repair is a little out of my league. If you ever even saw the one video on my channel about that, it's a 98 Ram. Kid bought it for $5,000, and he stuffed the frame in pretty good. So I tried hacking it apart to see like what was doable, but I probably should have just left it and let a frame shop take care of it, but I don't have that kind of time or money. So we're stripping it off and selling it. I already took apart the doors are gone, the hood's gone, the seats are gone. We got some dash pieces in here to take care of. Friggin' dash is pretty bad on this thing. You can just like poke your finger into it and break it. Pretty bad, but anyway. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. You know, it's like Dodge knew you were going to take this apart, so they made it self-disassembling. Alright, so moving stuff around back here, we found a clown nose. Very reminiscent of a typical Ram owner. Easiest dash pull job in the history of mankind. I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong? It's just, I can feel the purists probably cringing, but at the same time, if you own a Dodge, yours probably looks like this too. Wow. Look at all those numbers that got printed on here for it to do this. Bro, this headliner already wasn't perfect because of this shit right here, but I tried so hard to pull it out and keep it in one piece, and somebody's fucking piece of shit cat came and crawled in here and scratched the fuck out of it overnight, bro. So that's pretty much garbage now. Nobody's gonna want this for more than fucking $5 and a piece of bubble gum, so fucking fuck that thing. Alright, well there's the carpet pulled out. I got a guy that said he wanted it. Although it was a little more dirty on this side than it looked, but it'll clean up nice, I think. I had to shove that and the cutlass in the back, since obviously our little cat friend came in here scratching shit up. Next we got to pull that back panel off there probably. As you can see, I did a number on the dash. None of that plastic was any good. Nobody wanted it. Even if I could have got it off in one piece, it would have fell apart in shipping or just the new guy putting it on. None of it was good. Anything that is good is in here. Pretty much all the panels, the kick panels, the shifter gate thing, a lot of the little bells and whistles out of the dash. The airbag is still good. I don't know if anybody wants it, but I can probably... I don't know if you can resell those. I don't know what that deal is, but I can't pull off that faceplate. It's like attached to the unit that the airbag is in. So that's strange. Anyway, I'm going to stop hacking at that before it explodes in my face, even though there's no battery connected. I'm sure it's fine. But yeah, anyway. Floor pans in this truck ain't amazing. But somebody might want this cabin once I get her stripped down. We'll see. I'm going to get the rest of them plastic panels off there, clean them up, get them posted for sale. Get these switches out of here, that gauge cluster out. Somebody's already got the steering column, like I said, so that's sold. It's pretty much just hack all this apart with my hands and then undrill a couple of screws. But yeah, good deal. I'm gonna get all this posted, and you can find it on my eBay store if you need any random Ram parts. Don't worry, they will be cleaned up prior to posting. So anyway, I think that's gonna be it for this video. If you enjoyed, thank you for watching, or like and subscribe if you feel like it, but don't worry about it. I'm just posting for fun, man. There'll be more content to come because I'm gonna be working on more shit boxes. So peace out.